Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Welcome to Megaton Man Mondays, week 12. I know it's hard to believe we're at week 12. And you probably think I've lost my mind because this is not Megaton Man that we're looking at. Well, we are taking a 1 week break because my Return of Megaton Man 1 through 3 complete set arrives on Tuesday. So I will not be able to do it this week. I do have the first couple of issues of Don Simpson's Bizarre Heroes, which is a continuation of Megaton Man. However, it takes place after the return of Megaton Man. I'm telling you, this is a jigsaw puzzle that I'm putting together, people. It's a Rubik's Cube. But in the meantime, this Justice Machine arrived. In some of my research and interviews, I discovered that Don drew for one of my favorite comic book companies, Comico, Justice Machine, Mike Gustovich's Justice Machine. Don was in between like Megaton Man series and like I don't know, trying to do freelance gigs to I guess pay the rent or whatever, and wound up landing this gig, a fill-in issue of Justice Machine by Diana Schutz. Hired him to do this. He didn't even have to audition for it. I mean, after publishing like 10 issues of Megaton Man, you think that would be enough clout, right? This is a Mike Gustovich cover. Do you guys know Mike Gustovich? I love his stuff. Justice Machine Annual was like the first appearance of the Elementals. He did some stuff for, I feel like, Infinity Inc. and other DC stuff. I feel like very much the same wheelhouse as Don Simpson, like classic, traditional looking comic book art. I've always liked Mike Gustovich. I think his art is fun. I feel like Justice Machine is one of those that I've sort of had here and there, but never got completely into. But I feel like it's one that I would have really loved. So this is interesting, though. I don't really know much about the story. We're just going to look at the art. It's a Don Simpson joint. You know what I mean? Don had little to say when I mentioned it to him, but I'm sure he'll have much to say now. The Object of Power, a tale of Jor-El and the Justice Machine. So Jor-El is like the George Orwellian era, I guess we're living in. And I would like to point out that as Don Simpson is a master of the anatomy, and this reminded me, okay, Robert M. Ingersoll, writer, Donald Simpson, Dandy Donald fucking Megaton Man Simpson, that's why we're doing this, to follow the path and career and trajectory of Megaton Man. So in between these series, this is happening. So this is a glimpse. Don't worry, true believers, faithful viewers. We will return to a regular Megaton Man joint next Monday. But in the meantime, enjoy this special investigative deep dive report into the obscure oddities of Don Simpson paying his electric bill. Okay. So here we are. Writer, Robert M. Ingersoll. Writer, I'll say it 5 times. Donald Simpson, penciler, Mike Gustovich, inker. So that's interesting, right? They meshed very well. Like, it's kind of interesting, like, because I feel like Mike was slightly heavy-handed. I think Don is a little bit lost, but we will see a lot of Don shining through, as you will see. Bob Pinaha, letterer, which is another interesting thing. When I read that, I was very excited because I know Bob Pinaha and colorist Tom Vincent's name very well from a lot of their work on Comico books. I can't tell you right off the top of my head, but I want to say probably Elementals is where I know them from. Maggie Brenner, editor, Tony Isabella, co-plotter and consultant. We all know that name. But Mike Gustovich feels very, reminds me of Don Simpson in a way that he's a very competent, talented, seemingly like, you know, learned artist. You know what I mean? Like his anatomy is like on point. And I said it about See-Through Girl in the last episode of Megaton Man Mondays. Or no, was that the one before with her shapely buttocks? But equal time for the sexes. Check out this shapely buttocks, by the way. Oh, I forget. Speaking of shapely buttocks, since we're going to get into it, I love this character, Titan. I've always loved him since I first saw the first image of him. His ridiculous costume makes no sense. I was just talking about male nipples in comic books and my Hulk annual video, but you know, sometimes artists drew nipples, sometimes not. From the side view, I feel like we're getting a little nipple. From the front view, not. Nipples are apparently here today, gone tomorrow in superhero comic books. But what I love about his costume is like this is like the ultimate like male version of Power Girl's boob window. This is just like, we're just gonna let it all hang out. Could you imagine the female version of this costume? I guess that's not possible. Although, you know, I'm always wanting to suggest people with frivolous amounts of money who also happen to be Don Simpson fans. How about getting Don to do a pin of this, but the female version? That would be funny. Titaness. You know, he's good for a good satire. Anyway, back to more important things. Instantly recognizable as Don Simpson's mastery of perspective there, though. He has a ruler and a T-square, and he's not afraid to use them. Oh, like I said, I really love Bob Hinaha's lettering, but it looks so off. Like, I really, after 11 weeks of looking at Don's lettering on his own art, like, I'm just gutted. I can't even handle it. The absence of Don's lettering is making me sad, but I do love Bob Hinaha's lettering, so there you have it. So, isn't it interesting? Because I feel like I've become acquainted enough with Don's art to know that this is his, but I don't know if you just handed it to me and said, guess who drew this, if I would be able to. Because, you know, like I said, like the GUSTOVICH inks are clearly pronounced, you know, like, because he's such a great artist himself, so obviously his inking is going to be distinct even on another person's art. And I mean, what the hell's going on? I do love this costume too. Like, this is so interesting. I love the fact that he has a Z on the front of the costume and then they just slice it down the middle so you can't see the Z anyway. Like, but you can still sort of see the Z. And I love the eye patch. He looks very much like a sort of cosmic village person. And of course, that screams to my sensibilities. Yes, I knew you wouldn't freaking disappoint me. Anybody, you have to know 12 weeks into this, how many people are still watching? Is it just me and Don at this point? I don't know. Either way, if you're here, I'm glad. Welcome. But I love a good silhouette, and that is a beautiful silhouette. Thanks, Don. This is a fun city. I don't know, like, this character creeps me out. Like, I don't know. I've never been a fan of, like, children in movies and comics. Or, I mean, as the, like, protagonist. Like, especially if they're annoying. See, this straight up, and this would be a good point for Don to chime in. This absolutely, 100% looks like Don Simpson's lettering. Is it? You know, sometimes the artist, like, if it's, you know, something spectacular like that, will do the lettering themselves, if it's, like, a part of the actual art. I mean, this is, you know, not, you know, so spectacular that it couldn't be the letterer, but it just kind of looked like Don's lettering. Maybe I'm just missing it so much that I'm manifesting it. I'm just seeing it in things. But look at these pages. Another, look at those glutes. Don Byrne Hogarth, Dandy Simpson, School of Anatomy, Perfect Anatomy. He can draw any muscle in any angle, no matter how ridiculous the pose. And see, this is actually how I would have known. Like, that looks like a flying Don Simpson character right there. You know, with her hip bones just pointing perfectly and all that jazz. Yeah, this costume just doesn't seem practical. I don't know, it's all over the place. But he's like a gentle giant. He's an enforcer who doesn't want to enforce or use force. I don't know. I like that. I'm down with that. These are fun, cool characters. You know, this page is crazy. The coloring is so weird on that. And my coloring is crazy, but I feel like this is how not to do it. Sorry, Tom Vincent. I mean, I feel like you have a colored fish, please. So, I mean, I'm not knocking your colors. Things were different back then, but I just talked to colorist Jose Villarrubia, and he said that, you know, some colorists just want to use every color, and you should fight that resist that temptation, and I think that's a good example right there. Sorry. But how fun is this, right? Did you guys know? Like, I feel like this is like my you know, extensive deep dive investigation, research, whatever you want to call it, just happenstance, I don't know, into the world of dim sum. Into the world of dim sum has revealed a lot of shumai, a lot of bao, a lot of pot stickers, a lot of, you know, what do they call them? Treasures or something, anyway. But true that. Don Simpson is the dim sum of comic books. How do you like that? Man, if you need a new cover blurb, Don, I think that's it right there. The quote of the century. Don, that's gonna be the blurb on this. Don Simpson is the dim sum of comic books, right there. I mean, this is amazing. And the village person looks even better here. Once again, when I hit the lottery, I think I'm just gonna, like, now I want a commission of this without the creepy kid. Children are hard to draw. And children, I mean, you know, are your favorite issues of the Fantastic Four the one with Franklin? Probably not. Although one of mine is. But he turned into an adult and tried to kill Sue, so that what made it better. And what a perfect way to end than by having the Cosmic Village person getting his shoes polished by the weird little girl that he was trying to control. I don't know what in the hell is happening here. But I do remember this mage satin jacket, and I'm kicking myself for never getting it. I mean, God only knows it would not exist anymore, but I low-key wanted that in the worst way, and it would have been freaking amazing. And I'm so sad. I wonder if you found one on eBay, it would be, like, so ridiculously priced and over the top, I'm imagining. Anyway, how great was that? Like, are we still here? Megaton Man Mondays by way of Justice Machine. I mean, love it. I cannot wait to find the next Don Simpson obscurity. And fear not, faithful viewers. Oh, look. Oh, my God. So got to do that. It's got to be coming up in my collection soon. One of my favorite books ever. Space Ghost by Steve Rude. So good. So here's a backup. And, oh, this is actually a good comparison. We can see how the art is very compatible with what we had before. And now this is Mike Gustovich penciling. Oh, and being inked by Aubrey Bradford. So, but you can still see a lot of the Gustovich goodness in here and see how he brought that aesthetic to Dandy Don's pencils here. I feel like even if he did it for the money, we all did a lot of things for money when we were young, and there are worse things to have, there's no walk of shame away from a Comico fill-in job. Don Simpson. That's, like, actually pretty amazing. Was this your only contribution for Comico? Because I love it. I think it's amazing. So good. Night in the Enemy was also amazing. If you guys ever encounter that, Ken Stacy, Harlan Ellison, do you need to know anything else? Okay. Grendel, Matt Wagner returns. Such a great era in comics. Beautiful pinup of the Titan. Loving it. Sans nipples. Height 6'7", and he only weighs 200 pounds. That sounds a little hard to swallow. Anyway, so good. Don Simpson filling in like no one else can. Justice Machine number 12. Megaton Man Mondays continues next week with episode 13. And hopefully the return of Megaton Man if it arrives on time. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and I will bring you more later.